Yes, my name is Sara Andersson and I have a company called Foresta, and we have made a pilot about forest rent. And first I can describe a little bit. I live in Västerbotten in Sweden, and I work in the north half of Sweden with private forest properties. And I am a forester, and I have been a real estate agent with forest properties. The name of the company is Foresta, and it started in 2013. And mainly it's forest management for private properties. And we also make valuations for loans, especially for banks. And then private persons want to buy a new forest property. We make valuations about that. And then we continue to have contact with the forest owners. For example, when they change owner in the family and so on. And we have a program called Skogskalk, where we calculate for a longer period, both for value changes and for liquidity. And this is also used by banks quite a lot. Or the result of Skogskalk is used of banks. And we are about 4 persons who has its income from the company. And actually we have never made any marketing. We have only got the information from different forest owners through them. And that's nice. So, and through these years, we have found some keywords in the company. And that's maybe a bit of a start for this pilot, how we find out. Not everyone can own a forest, but everyone can enjoy a forest. That's one. And the other one is not everyone who owns a forest can take care of it, but everyone can get help. And we like to help forest owners, but not more than they need to. So we want the forest owners to do as much as they can themselves, and then we help them if they don't have time or knowledge enough. So out of this, we find out a pilot, and that's quite a lot because forest owners want to have some income, not only from thinning or final felling. They want to have an income from something else. And we have discussed that quite a lot with the forest owners, and they have a lot of different ideas, and some makes tourist places and so on, and some, but quite a lot of the private forest owners aren't so very, they have other works and do other things, so they want to find some income where they can be quite passive. And in the other hand, we have quite a lot of people who want to own a forest, but nowadays it's quite cheap to buy a forest. No, expensive to buy a forest. And it will be more and more expensive for every month, I would say, because it's so many people who want to buy forest. And I think also it's because of COVID that people want to have place money in something that they can see and feel and go into. So out of this, that people want to do something more who owns the forest, and other people want to own a forest, but they can't afford it. And I could illustrate it with some demands that we have found out. For example, this nickel biotope, a place with high nature value that the forest owners have and want to save. Can it be used to anyone else? For example, a forest owner can think or say. And another example, as a forest owner, can I get a value from the carbon dioxide that is bound in this growing pine forest? And that's more than private forest owners who think about that, I think. And another owner can say that this little sandy beach in the middle of a forest, can it be to anyone's delight? Not only for the forest owners, but not make a beach and a camping and so on. Just that someone can feel that this is my little beach. And in the other hand, we have, for example, a family who would like to own a forest, to enjoy and get to know the seasons of the nature, but it's too expensive for us. How can they get some values and feeling that this is their forest? And we also have companies who want to do something for nature, something that they can see, feel, and tell the customers. And there is quite a lot of things that you can do in other parts of the world, for example, in India and Africa and so on, but the company, it's far away and they can't go out and see this so easy when it's far away. So these two things, that forest owners want to do something more than just final felling and so on, and people want to enjoy forest more. That's the reason for the pilot. So how can we combine these interests? And then we started to find out a format for this, and we find that a marketplace, a place where forest owners who want to rent out a part of the forest can meet people and company who want to enjoy a forest, who want to rent a forest or a place of a forest. And they found out that juridical guidance and documentation is very important, because of the forest owners must know how much how deep will this be for my other forest company. For example, can I continue to make final fellings and so on? And the renters wants to know, could I build a cabin, or how much is my rights that I rent? And to make very good landowner commitments, so the parts know what is committed. So that's what we started with, and we found out that we had to make a homepage where forest owner can make a place that you find and make it on a map and describe the forest. And we find out that we have to make it to two segments. One is old forest, for example, with high nature values, and one is carbon sequestration forest. For younger forest and growing forest, maybe most for companies who want to do something in here in the north of Europe and not in other part of the world. And also that you could describe with pictures, and for example, if it is a sandy beach and so on, with photos to this. And then the renters could book this forest and go through the documents and sign agreements and get the certificate. And this certificate tells that the agreements in a shorter text, you can say. And that's important, for example, for a company to have that, but also if maybe you want to rent a part of a forest and give it for a present for a person. This certificate makes it possible. You can see what it is in it. So, and this is ready, so it could be running. And there is forest owners. It's real forest that is in this map that you see some of them.